Viral historical topics in the United States. April 5th, 2025. On April 5th, 2025, United States is buzzing with discussions about historical events and figures, fueled by a mix of social media trends, public protests, political developments, and health crises that have drawn parallels to the past. These topics have gone viral, capturing the attention of millions as they resonate with contemporary issues. From economic policies to public health and social movements, below is an in-depth exploration of the historical narratives dominating conversations rooted in the events and sentiments of this specific moment in time. The return of tariffs and echoes of the Great Depression, one of the most viral historical discussions in the United States on April 5, 2025, centers on President Donald J. Trump's imposition of a 10% tariff on all imported goods effective April 9, 2025, as part of a broader trade policy invoking the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977. This move, announced on April 2, 2025, has sparked widespread comparisons to the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930, which many historians argue exacerbated the Great Depression. Social media platforms, particularly X, are flooded with posts drawing parallels between the current trade war and the economic isolationism of the early 20th century. Users are sharing infographics and excerpts from historical texts highlighting how the 1930 tariffs led to a collapse in global trade, rising unemployment, and prolonged economic hardship. The viral nature of this topic stems from the immediate economic implications of Trump's policy, which has already prompted retaliatory measures from China, strained relations with Canada and Mexico. Historians and economists on X are debating whether the current tariffs will mirror the catastrophic effects of Smoot-Hawley or serve as a bold strategy to revive American manufacturing, as Trump claims. Memes juxtaposing black and white photos of breadlines from the 1930s with modern stock market charts are circulating widely. Meanwhile, supporters of the tariffs are sharing historical anecdotes about the prosperity of the pre-globalization era, arguing that protectionism strengthened the U.S. economy in the late 19th century. This polarized discourse has made the Great Depression a trending historical reference, with hashtags like #TariffHistory and #Smoot-Hawley225 gaining traction. Measles outbreak and the anti-vaccination movement another historical topic dominating conversations is the resurgence of measles in the United States. With 800 confirmed cases and 2 deaths reported by April 18, 2025, as part of a broader outbreak across the Americas, this public health crisis has reignited discussions about the anti-vaccination movement, drawing comparisons to historical epidemics like the 1916 polio outbreak and the pre-vaccine era of the mid-20th century. On April 5, 2025, posts on X and viral TikTok videos are circulating images of children in iron lungs from the 1950s, alongside captions urging vaccination compliance. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has emphasized that most cases involve unvaccinated individuals, prompting a wave of historical retrospectives on the development of the measles vaccine in 1963 and its role in nearly eradicating the disease by the late 20th century. The controversy surrounding Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as potential leadership of the Health and Human Services Department has further fueled this historical narrative. Kennedy's history of promoting vaccine skepticism has led to viral threads comparing him to figures like Andrew Wakefield, whose discredited 1998 study linked vaccines to autism, sparking a modern anti-vax movement. Social media users are sharing archival footage of public health campaigns from the 1960s, which successfully boosted vaccination rates, contrasting them with current misinformation campaigns. The historical irony of a vaccine-preventable disease resurging in 2025, decades after its near elimination, has made terms like herd immunity and vaccine hesitancy part of the viral lexicon. With educators and historians hosting live streams to discuss the societal impact of past epidemics, the hands-off, protests, and the legacy of civil disobedience. The hands-off protests, which saw over 1,400 demonstrations across all 50 states on April 5, 2025, have brought historical movements like the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War protests into the spotlight. Organized as a response to what organizers call a hostile takeover by the Trump administration and billionaire Elon Musk, these rallies have drawn millions, making them the largest single-day protests since Trump's second inauguration in January 2025. The protests, which decry policies ranging from mass deportations to federal workforce cuts, have sparked viral comparisons to the 1963 March on Washington and the 1970 anti-war demonstrations. Photos of protesters holding signs with slogans like "Hands off our rights" are being shared alongside black and white images of civil rights marchers, emphasizing continuity in the fight for democratic freedoms. On X, historians are posting threads about the role of civil disobedience in American history, citing figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and the tactics of nonviolent resistance. The arrest of Mahmoud Khalel, a Palestinian refugee, whose green card was revoked over protest involvement, has been likened to the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, with viral posts calling it a modern violation of civil liberties. The grassroots 50,501 movement, which coordinated the protests, draws its name from the idea of 50 protests, 50 states, one day, a concept inspired by the 2017 Women's March. This historical connection has led to viral content celebrating the power of collective action, with users sharing quotes from historical figures like Frederick Douglass and Rosa Parks to underscore the stakes of the current moment. Bird flu and historical pandemics. The ongoing concern about bird flu, with 66 human cases confirmed in 2024, and a fatal case in Louisiana, has triggered viral discussions about historical pandemics, particularly the 1918 Spanish flu and the 2009 H1N1 outbreak. On April 5, 2025, social media is abuzz with comparisons between the current low-risk assessment by the CDC and the early underestimations of past pandemics. Viral videos are circulating that juxtapose grainy footage of 1918 hospital wards with modern dairy farms, highlighting the zoonotic origins of both outbreaks. The fear of a potential pandemic, especially amid declining vaccination rates for other diseases, has led to a surge in historical content about public health responses, such as the rapid development of the polio vaccine in 1955 and the global coordination during the 2009 swine flu pandemic. X users are sharing historical data on pandemic mortality rates, with charts comparing the 50 million deaths of the Spanish flu to the estimated 1 million deaths of the Hong Kong flu in 1968. The role of misinformation in delaying effective responses is a recurring theme, with posts drawing parallels between anti-mask sentiments in 1918 and current vaccine skepticism. Historians are also highlighting the success of past public health campaigns, such as smallpox eradication in 1977. As a counterpoint to the challenges posed by modern political polarization, the viral spread of this historical content is driven by public anxiety about emerging infectious diseases, amplified by the recent measles outbreak, and the specter of Disease X, a placeholder for unknown future pathogens. The Social Security reorganization and the New Deal legacy, the Trump administration's massive reorganization of the Social Security Administration, including the layoff of thousands of employees, has sparked a viral re-examination of the New Deal era, particularly the establishment of Social Security in 1935 under President Franklin D. Roosevelt. On April 5, 2025, X posts are sharing excerpts from FDR's speeches, emphasizing the program's role as a cornerstone of American social welfare. The current turmoil, which threatens benefits for 73 million Americans, has led